Today's lesson is dining reservations. Hi, everybody. I'm Roger.
Hello, I'm Kiki.
And today we're going to continue talking about dining reservations or making a reservation at a restaurant. And you might want to do this if you're traveling overseas, especially if you go to New York or Paris or London or someplace like that, and there's a special restaurant you want to go to, you might need to make a reservation. Now, in our conversation last time, Rita was trying to make a reservation at Iron Grill in New York. She was able to make that reservation, but later she had to change it. And so they changed their reservation to Sunday instead of Friday, even though she wanted to change it to Saturday, but no table was available then.
Right. And sometimes, though, some people, they just don't like making reservations, Roger. So people will kind of just walk into a restaurant and just find out, hey, is there a table for me? So sometimes we don't always make reservations, and people might be okay if there's no table. They'll just look for another restaurant to go to. So today in our conversation, we're going to find out about people dining without making a reservation and what happens when you don't make a reservation.
Especially at a popular restaurant where lots of other people are making a reservation, so you need to be aware of that. And in part 3, we're waiting for a table, and Daniel, this is a different conversation between Daniel and a restaurant hostess. They're talking about Daniel wanting to get a table at this restaurant, but he has not made a reservation. Let's find out what this conversation is all about. Let's listen to it first.
3. Waiting for a table.Daniel arrives at a restaurant where he's planning to have lunch with a friend and her child.
Hi, is a table for 3 available now?
Hello, sir. I'm sorry, but we're fully booked at the moment.
Got it. So, could you tell me what the wait time would be?
It should be around 20 minutes. Has the rest of your party arrived?
No, I'm still waiting for my friend and her child.
No problem at all. I'll be happy to put your name on the wait list.It's
Daniel. By the way, do you have any child seating available?
Yes, we have high chairs available for small children.
Fantastic. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome. And please note that we can only seat you when everyone in your party is on the premises.
大家好，我们来看第一部分中的单字 fantastic。它是形容词，意思是极好的、了不起的，也可以是幻想的意思。例如 A bus tour is a fantastic way to see the sights in a new city. 巴士旅游是游览新城市一种极好的方式。或者 The old man told the children fantastic stories about the place he once visited. 老人家给孩子们讲了他曾经去过地方的奇幻故事。接下来介绍名词 premises， 它有公司、餐厅或机构的房屋或土地、办公场所或是经营场所或是厂区的意思。举例来说 Before entering the premises, please sign in at the front desk and get a visitor pass. 在进入本营业场所前，请先到柜台登记并领取访客通行证。也可以说 Please speak softly when you pass the office premises. 当你经过办公场所时，请轻声细语。
Okay, so conversation 3 is all about waiting for a table. If you have not made a reservation, this might happen. I remember when the sushi roll restaurant opened in Gongguan. My goodness, you had to wait really long for a table. You took a number, and when it was your turn, you could go to the table. I think some people were getting a number online. I guess that's similar to making a reservation. But indeed, sometimes if a restaurant is really popular, you'll probably have to wait for a table.
Right. And sometimes when we don't have a reservation, people that are called walk-ins. So we're walking into a restaurant without a reservation, and we're kind of just try our luck to see if we can get a table. So today in Conversation 3, we're going to find out what it's like waiting for a table. And in this case, Daniel comes to a restaurant and he's planning to have lunch with his friend that is bringing her child. So what does Daniel do?
Well, he greets the hostess and says, "Hi, is a table for 3 available now? Or do you have a table for 3 people? Can we come in and eat right now?" And the hostess says, "Hello, sir. I'm sorry, but we're fully booked at the moment." So this is a very popular restaurant, and he did not make a reservation, so he's going to have to wait. She says they're fully booked. In other words, all the reservations have been made. No table is available. You're going to have to wait.
Right. So sometimes around lunchtime, people think, oh, lunch, people might be working, so maybe I don't need a reservation. But actually, a lot of lunch spots that are popular, people make reservations earlier. So Daniel thought that if he showed up and asked if there were seats available, it might be possible to get a table. But it turns out that this restaurant is just as popular at lunchtime. So they were fully booked. They have no tables available. So Daniel says, got it. So could you tell me what the wait time would be? So it's okay if you don't have a reservation. You are still able to wait on the spot or wait in person for a table to open up, and you can still be seated. So he asks the restaurant hostess, could you tell me what the wait time would be? How long would I have to wait in order for me to get a table for 3?
The hostess replies, it should be around 20 minutes. Has the rest of your party arrived? So here the hostess tells him, well, you'll need to wait about 20 minutes, which doesn't sound too long. You can just take out your phones and answer messages or whatever, play a game or whatever. That's no problem waiting for 20 minutes. But the hostess wants to know if the other people have arrived yet. So if you talk about a group of people going to eat in a restaurant, we often refer to them as your party, not a place where you're getting together with friends and having drinks and food and laughing and cheering and having a good time. In this particular case, it just refers to a group of people who are going to a restaurant together.
Right. And the restaurant hostess says it will be a 20-minute wait, so he can wait for 20 minutes and wants to find out if the other members of his party have arrived yet. Daniel says, no, I'm still waiting for my friend and her child. So they are still on their way. He's still waiting for them to come. Some restaurants, they ask if the rest of your party have arrived yet because they want to make sure that once your table is ready, you can all be seated instead of, oh, Daniel arriving first, and then they still have to wait 20 or 30 minutes for the child and the friend to arrive. So some restaurants are a bit picky about this, or they just want to know in advance if the rest of your group is on their way or if you're all together, so they can prepare for this. Okay, so the restaurant hostess says no problem at all. I'll be happy to put your name on the wait list. There's no problem. They're not here yet. It's okay because you still have to wait for 20 minutes. So I will be happy to put you on the wait list. The wait list is basically the list of names of the people that are in person waiting for a table. So they will put down your name and your telephone number, and then you will get your table according to the order that your name has been written down by.
Yes, indeed. So it's not a problem for the hostess here. You're going to be put on the wait list. Sometimes this is called the waiting list. It kind of depends on where you are, but basically that's a list of people who are waiting for a table. And when a table is available, they will call your name, and then you can go and eat. I suppose if the rest of his party has not arrived by the appointed time, then they will give the table to someone else, and then they will give him the next table when his party arrives, when his friend with her child arrive. And Daniel gives the hostess his name. It's Daniel. That's my name. You can put that on the wait list. By the way, just to mention this, do you have any child seating available? So remember, Daniel is coming to the restaurant with his friend and her child. So sometimes they need to have a special chair for the child because they're still quite small and they can't sit in a regular chair because they won't be able to get to their food on the table. So oftentimes they have special accommodation for young children.
That's right. And he asks if they have child seating available because there are different types of child seats. They have high chairs or sometimes booster chairs. So Daniel wants to find out if they have any sort of child seating available. And the restaurant hostess says, yes, we have high chairs available for small children. So high chairs are basically taller chairs that have small seats so that babies or toddlers can sit in them and they can be close to the table so they can eat their food. And this restaurant provides high chairs for small children.
That's a good thing to have. Of course, most restaurants do provide high chairs for small children. They want to be family friendly. And Daniel says, fantastic. That's wonderful. That's great. I appreciate your help. Of course, fantastic does mean that. Great, wonderful, really nice. And the hostess says, you're welcome. No problem. And please note, or please remember, that we can only seat you when everyone in your party is on the premises. Here, seat is a verb that just means we can only let you sit at the table when everybody has arrived. You can't just go sit at the table by yourself and wait for your party to arrive. That's our rule. Everybody has to be on the premises.
Okay, so the premises basically means the location or the building. So in this case, it would be the restaurant premise. Okay, so it's where the restaurant is located. It means that every single person in the party will have to be in the restaurant in order for you to have your seat. So this is what we were talking about earlier when hostesses asks, have all the members of your party arrived? Because they don't want to seat Daniel first and then he's kind of hogging the table for 20 minutes if his friend hasn't arrived yet. But that 20 minutes, they could have seated another group of people.
Yep, restaurants want to make a profit. So, of course, if you're just sitting there and waiting for your friends to arrive, they won't be able to serve you. Other people will be waiting, and they won't have enough turnover of the tables in order to make a profit. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today, Conversation 3, waiting for a table. Now let's move on to Conversation 4, our reservation for dinner. Let's listen again to Daniel and his conversation with the hostess.
4. A reservation for dinner. Daniel's friend lets him know that she can't make their lunch appointment after all, so he approaches the hostess again.
It turns out my friend can't make it for lunch, so could I make us a dinner reservation instead?
Unfortunately, all the tables we've set aside for reservations are already booked. However, we do keep about 30% of our tables available for walk-ins, so if you arrive when our dinner service starts, we should be able to seat you promptly.
Oh, I see. What time does the dinner service start then?
Our dinner service starts at 6 o'clock.
All right, we'll just aim to be here at 6 then.
第二部分介绍名词 appointment， 它的意思是预约、约定或是约会。例如 Ryan has an appointment with a dentist this Friday at 9 a.m. Ryan 这礼拜五早上9点有预约牙医会诊。又或者是 I made an appointment with Mr. Johnson's secretary for Thursday at 1 p.m. 我和 Johnson 先生的秘书约了星期四下午1点钟见面。另外补充 appointment 的动词 appoint A-P-P-O-I-N-T appoint 有任命、指派或是指定的意思。可以说 While he was out on parental leave, Martin appointed Shelley to lead the project. 当 Martin 休育婴假时，他任命 Shelley 来领导这个计划。又或者说 It's no question that the CEO will appoint one of his sons as his successor. 毫无疑问，执行长将任命他的其中一个儿子作为继承人。下一个来看到 walk in， 这个名词意思是 未事先预约的人。例如 This dental clinic doesn't accept walk-ins, so remember to make an appointment before you go there. 这家牙科诊所不收未事先预约的人，所以去之前要记得先预约。或是 If the salon isn't fully booked, they can accept walk-ins. 如果那家美发院没有被订满的话，他们可以接受没有预约的客人。除此之外 walk-in 也可以当作形容词，它的意思是未经预约而来的，或是不必预约的，可以直接走进去的，或是步入式的。例如 There is a walk-in clinic around the corner where people can see the doctor whenever they need. 转角处有一家无需预约的诊所，人们可以在需要时随时去看医生。再看一个例子 Lila wants to have a walk-in closet so that she can put all her clothes and shoes in it. Lila 想要一个步入式衣柜，这样她就可以把所有的衣服和鞋子都放进去。再来看到 promptly， 它是副词，指的是迅速的、立即的。例如 The waiter said that the food would be delivered promptly. 服务生说食物很快就会送来。或是 When the police arrived, the robber promptly dropped his weapon and escaped. 警察赶到时，那名劫匪立刻丢下武器并逃跑。另外，这个字的字尾 ly 去除就会变成动词 prompt， 表示引起或是激起。例如 Witnessing pollution firsthand prompted Carl to organize a local cleanup effort. 亲眼见证污染情况，促使 Carl 筹划了一个地方清扫活动。最后一个例子 The charity's appeal prompted Peter to donate some money. 那个慈善机构的呼吁激励 Peter 捐了一些钱。
Okay, so here we're making a reservation for dinner, and Daniel's friend lets him know that she can't make their lunch appointment after all, so he approaches the hostess again. Now, an appointment is when you set ahead of time a time to meet someone. Usually we use the appointment when we talk about going to see the dentist or the doctor. I have a doctor's appointment at 4 o'clock this afternoon, so I need to leave work early. If you're going out together with somebody for a romantic date, for example, if a boy is taking a girl to a restaurant, then that would be a date.
Right. So appointment is something that is usually more formal, or it's between people that have more business relationships. So we can tell that Daniel and this friend, they are kind of just friends. They're not dating or anything because they are having a lunch appointment. Okay. So now that the friend has canceled their lunch plans or their lunch appointment, Daniel has to talk to the hostess again, the restaurant hostess again. And Daniel says, it turns out my friend can't make it for lunch, so could I make us a dinner reservation instead? It turns out, so the result ended up to be that my friend can't come for lunch. So we need to change our plans. And he thought maybe they can change their lunch plans to dinner instead.
Right, so they won't be eating lunch, they'll be eating dinner at this restaurant. And here, of course, the hostess answers his question. Unfortunately, all the tables we've set aside for reservations are already booked. So this is unfortunate for Daniel. Sorry, you cannot change your reservation that easily. Dinner is a busy time, and we set aside a certain amount of tables for reservations. They don't set aside all the tables for reservations, but the ones that they have reserved for reservations, if you will, are already booked. People have already reserved those tables, so you'll either have to wait or maybe you can come in as a walk-in, and that's what the hostess goes on to say.
So she explains, however, we do keep about 30% of our tables available for walk-ins. So earlier in the episode, we talked about walk-ins, which is when you come into a place that usually needs a reservation. So it could also be at a doctor's office or a dentist or a restaurant. You've come in without a reservation, so you are a walk-in, okay? So she says that 30% of their tables for dinner are available for walk-ins. So if you come at dinner time and you walk in and find out if we have tables, you might still be able to get one. So she continues to say, so if you arrive when our dinner service starts, we should be able to seat you promptly.
Right. Promptly just means right away, immediately. So, of course, you need to time this exactly right. Come and show up right when their dinner service begins or right when they open for dinner. If you arrive a little later than that, maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, you may not be so lucky. You may find yourself waiting for an hour or two. So again, if he gets there at the right time, then they should be able to seat him and his party promptly right away.
So Daniel tries to find out when dinner service starts. He says, oh, I see. So, you guys still have tables available for walk-ins. What time does the dinner service start then? So what time should I be there so that I can make sure I can get a table right away?
Yep, it's a good question. And the hostess says, our dinner service starts at 6 o'clock. And Daniel says, all right. We'll just aim to be here at 6 then. So if you aim, that means that's your plan and that's where you're going. So they'll try to be there right at 6 o'clock so they can get in and get a table and enjoy a meal together. Okay, we're at the end of our explanation. It's time now to turn things over to Henny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。在课文第二部分的对话一开始有写到 Daniel's friend lets him know that she can't make their lunch appointment after all. Daniel 的朋友告诉他，他终究无法赶上他们的午餐约会。那文中是用到 after all 来表达终究的语义。那我们就来复习一下 after all 的两种用法。那第一种呢，是用来表达结果跟先前的认知不同，相当于中文的终究还是，像是 He said he had reconsidered and decided to quit after all. 他说他重新考虑了，终究还是决定辞职。第二个用法呢，是用来说明理由或者是提出解释，就相当于中文的毕竟。例如I think you should apologize to her. After all, she's your best friend. 我认为你应该向她道歉，毕竟啊，她是你最要好的朋友。好，那么对话里面的 Daniel 他接着走向餐厅的女接待员，告诉对方说，结果我的朋友无法赶上午餐，所以我可以改预约晚餐吗？好，文中它是用 can't make it for lunch 来表达无法赶上午餐。这边我们就来整理一下 make it 的不同意思及用法。第一种呢 make it 可以表达抵达某地或是达成某个目标，后面常常会接 to 加名词，像 make it to the top of the mountain 就是指抵达山顶，Make it to the finals 是指打进决赛。那假设你本来要去参加朋友的派对，但是后来临时有事不能去，也许这时候可以说 I'm sorry, but I won't be able to make it to your party. 很抱歉，我没办法去参加你的派对了。好，那么第二个，我们可以用 make it 去表达成功活下来，挺过难关而存活下来。那这时候意思就会跟 survive 差不多。例如 She was very ill.The doctor didn't think she'd make it. 她之前病得很严重，医生认为她撑不过这一关。那第三个，我们可以用到 make it 去表达成功办到或者是成功做到。例如 You will make it if you keep at it. 如果你坚持下去，就会成功的。好，那我们顺便补充一个相关用法是 make it big。那这是表达功成名就、飞黄腾达、非常成功的意思。其实也可以说成 hit it big, hit it big。好，举例来说 Liam aspires to make it big in Hollywood. Liam 渴望在好莱坞大放异彩。好，那以上是今天重点整理，我们接着来回顾今天的单字吧。
Fantastic. The team did a fantastic job making everyone happy with their skills and effort. Premises. You need a security card to access the company premises. Appointment. I scheduled an appointment with the dentist to address my toothache. Promptly. Upon receiving the urgent message, Diana promptly responded and came up with a solution.
Well, everyone, today's article has come to an end, and I sure hope you enjoy reading along with us. I am Kiki.
I am Roger.
See you next time.